All right, we got Kevin out in Daybreak today. This is a park in Daybreak behind us that we really like to go to because it's often really busy. And so we're keeping a little bit of distance from some of the distractions just because he is new to working on just distractions in the environment. He's fairly new to understanding how to focus on us despite there being kids and so we have a little bit of space, but we're still out and about and we're working on some of the things that we've been working on in the house and in the neighborhood. It was actually quite funny getting him into the car. He sprawled out his legs to avoid getting into the crate in the car, which was kind of funny. And then we were able to work through it a little bit. The second time he got back in the car, it was a lot smoother. So he was quite funny about getting into the back of the car, but once we got there, all was well. We were okay. We survived. And he was happy-go-lucky, eager to work. I am doing lots of food stuff with him, although there's a little bit of a technique I have found with him with food. I need to feed him about a quarter cup or so before because he gets really distracted by the food. So even as I'm digging in my treat pouch, he's not always listening to me. I'm even kind of like, I'm putting my hand on the treat pouch and you need to stay there. He's not always listening to us for the food. He's just so mindless for the food. And so, yeah, there's times that even sometimes I don't have him necessarily train for food. Sometimes I just have him train for affection, just giving him lots of positive encouragement with the way that I'm saying things, telling him good boy and giving him affection and that kind of stuff. But since we came to the park today and it was his first time out and about, I wanted to make sure that we had some really awesome things for him to get rewarded with, which is food for him. That's his number one currency. So as I'm working with him, I'm noticing that he can take quite a bit of pressure on e-collar and on the leash. And it really depends on what's going on in the environment and his state of mind. And this isn't uncommon for labs. This is something that I've experienced where, labs were bred to be family dogs, to some degree. I mean, they have a lot of purposes, but one of those is to be really good with kids and to do service dog work. And I know a lot of Kanosh labs that have done service dog work. And so they can handle a lot of pressure. And they're supposed to, they can handle a child putting pressure on them by grabbing their face or poking them, or they can handle pressure from going through TSA security and getting on an airplane. So they can handle a lot of things. And so what can be tricky about that, the flip side of that, is they can handle a lot of pressure from training. So from the leash, from a prong collar, from e-collar. So it's going to be totally different from Penny. Penny, her main issues were she was reactive to the environment. And so she was sensing that other dogs were putting pressure on her. So she would explode to make that pressure go away. Once we started to teach her e-collar pressure, she's learned very quickly, okay, this is how I make the e-collar pressure go away. So reactive dogs typically train faster than dogs that are a little bit more oblivious, like Kevin. He's a little bit more oblivious. And so we are going to use lots of communication with the leash. It's not always about increasing pressure. Sometimes it's just giving him more direction, more information. When he feels that e-collar pressure go on, I don't want him to learn, I'm just going to tune it out because I can. I want him to say, oh, I'm supposed to do something with this pressure. And so that's where the leash is coming into play. That's where food is helpful for him, and affection and that kind of stuff. And just ultimately getting those reps in if he feels the e-collar and he resolves it this way. He feels the e-collar in a new environment and the resolution is the same. So really happy with where he's at. He's happy-go-lucky, eager to work. He's doing great.